Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming with two new bad Zodiac sign palettes from Milk Cosmetics. So if you guys want to see two eye looks, here's some of my first impression thoughts, then just keep watching. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is KARENHARRIS. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I post about 3 to 4 beauty videos every week. This week I think I'm going to have extra videos just because I have so many new makeup releases with me. So if that sounds good to you, if you don't want to miss out, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell so you're notified every time I post, and without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, I'm so excited for this week. It's so wild, but all of a sudden, Hocus Pocus landed on my door. I just posted a video with the new ABH Rose Metals palette, and of course, Melt dropped these palettes for exclusive app access on the Sephora app like 2 days ago, and I had underestimated the price. I thought they were going to be about 30 bucks a palette, but they were close to 40. I think they were like $38. And they also released a new Patrick Ta blush palette for early access. So if I'd bought all the eyeshadow palettes and this, I would have spent like $200 something. And I just wasn't willing to do that. So I decided to grab two of the Melt palettes and grab the Patrick Ta blush palette. I was so curious about the blush palette because it does look very light. So I definitely want to try this out in this video. I'm just gonna add that in as a bonus, but the main focus of the video is definitely gonna be these Melt palettes. So I have already swatched the palette, so I'll throw out the swatches kind of while I talk about these, but on the back here it says these are made in Italy, and I have two of them. So we have the Bad Side Zodiac Air palette, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and I have the Earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I am a Capricorn, so I'm glad that the Earth sign palette caught my eye because the other two that I didn't buy, honestly, I'll probably pick them up if I can get them on the Sephora sale, but the Fire one was just so close to the new Nomad Hudson Valley palette, and I was like, I really don't need more reds like that. I really like that Hudson Valley palette, so I decided to pass on that. And then the blue one, which is Water, reminded me of their Blueprint palette, which I have and I barely use that, so I decided to just get these two. Now this one definitely, I said in my new makeup releases video that I posted on Monday, gave me ABH Subculture vibe, and I'm just gonna hold them up side by side so you guys can see it definitely looks very similar. I was also hesitant to get this because it definitely has like Melt Gemini vibes, and their other palette, oh, I'm forgetting the name, the one that's like, I think it's just the 420 palette, like it has those same shades. But what I'm thinking this might be good for is for somebody that maybe wants to try out Melt but doesn't want to buy a big giant palette. Now, I haven't seen them do circle pans other than the holiday palette from last year, which looks like this. This is the Mariposa palette. And honestly, once I swatched the two palettes that I picked up from this collection, I was like, bitch, you basically just bought the Mariposa palette in a mini version again. Not exactly, but still pretty close. So I just wanted to grab those palettes that I was thinking were kind of similar, but I hope you guys enjoyed the swatches and the close-ups. Now let's create some looks with these palettes and see if they have good quality or if you can pass on them. Okay, so I'm really excited about the Earth palette, so I'm gonna start off with the Air palette. And the reason I picked this one up is I felt like it was a little bit different of a color story compared to their Purple palette. Totally blanking on the name, but that's more like a cool tone palette. So I thought this would be a fun one because it has more warm tones in it. And it kind of reminded me of the She's in Party. Oh, She's in Parties. That's the name of the palette, I think. I'm totally blanking, but I'll put up pictures. And Melt had a stack that was like a peachy, purpley stack that got discontinued. So I felt like this was their take on that palette. But let's go ahead and play with this. I am really wanting to do like a peachy, purpley vibe. So let's see if I can pull it off. I'm going to start off with the shade Indecisive. Oh, and all of the shade names are so cool. They have like kind of a cheeky play on all the bad characteristics of each of these zodiac signs. So this one is frivolous. We have indecisive, ghosted, two-faced, mind games, flaky, chismosa, is that how you say it? And reckless. Oh my goodness. And then it says on here on the inside, it says, we'll wait while you overthink this. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. How cheeky. Okay, so I'm just putting this peachy color into the crease and blending. And then I want to use this purple shade called Chisoma. Oh my gosh. Let me have somebody like pronounce it and be like, are you dumb? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Also, if you hear rustling in the background or cocomelon, that's how I bribed my daughter to sit in her pack and play. I give her snacks and cocomelon, and she freaking loves cocomelon. Like, loves cocomelon, so that's the only TV show she is enthralled by. And I figured, like, let me try and film. Like, I came down here to do B-roll because my husband is out playing frisbee golf with friends. And she was being pretty happy in her pack and play. So I was like, let me just film. Let's see what happens. I have so many palettes. Oh my gosh. I had heard from Teresa that she was going to send me her collab, but I had no idea it was launching on Friday. So it just showed up at my door and I'm like, oh my god, I need to film with this before it launches. So I think that's going to be a tomorrow project if I can get this melt stuff filmed today. So those are the three matte shadows that I wanted to use like in my crease and my outer corner. So now for a lid shade, I think we want to use I want to use Reckless in the inner corner because it's like a really light purpley shade. And then I have Frivolous, I think maybe we'll try. I was going to do Flaky, but I'm not sure if it's like too dark. Let's see. We can try to get as many shades on the lid as possible. So let me try Frivolous first. Very, very soft shadow. It like picked up a lot on the brush. I'm a little bit scared actually. I might have to, yeah, I didn't want to like cake that on too much on the lid. I feel like I have really high expectations when it comes to the Melt Holiday collection. So I don't know if this one exceeded my expectations. You guys will have to let me know. Were you guys excited to see these minis? I feel like from the comments in my new makeup releases video, a lot of you were in agreement that these palettes just didn't really meet your expectations, but you just really never know until you try it for yourself. So I wanted to get at least two because I do love to buy the Melt palettes. I pretty much collect them. So yeah, okay, so I ended up using 3 of the shimmer shades on my lid. There's 4 shimmers and I used 3 of them. So I used this first one, Frivolous, in the middle, the shade called Reckless in the inner corner, and the shade called Flaky on the outer corner. And that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna have to like blend out the outer corner. Actually, let me see, is there a shade I can, no, I want a lighter shade to do that. So I will go ahead and do that part off camera. Now let's do the Earth palette on this eye. I'm really excited. Listen, this palette is half neutral, half green. Okay, it's more neutral, and then 3 green shades, but the green shades swatch so nicely. So I've been holding back. I feel like I've tried to do other shades and do like other color combos, but I'm not gonna hold back anymore. I'm gonna do a green look. So on here it says, the only right way is your way, we know, which is very much my Capricorn energy. Oh my gosh. I think both me and my husband are Capricorns actually, because I was gonna say my husband would probably say that that is very accurate, but then he'd be saying that about himself too. So I'm just gonna start off with the darkest shadow, and I figured I'd switch it up because I used the lightest shade in the other eye. This shade Heart of Stone is kind of tough to blend. It definitely feels like one of those pack shadows because I put it down, and like usually I like to blend a shade like this, but it is staying put. It's like, Mister, no way I am budging for you. I will stay exactly where you put me, and that's that. So that's a little tough. So just keep that in mind. I'm just trying to build it and put it where I want. And now I'm going to go into Way Harsh, which is this pretty like poopy color. And I'm going to blend it inwards, which like some people don't like to blend their shadows. I know they like to put them exactly where they want, and that's that. I definitely have talked about really enjoying blending eyeshadows, so it's definitely a personal preference. I do like how those two shades look together though, so I'm not going to complain. Now we're going to put on some of the metallic shadow. I'm going to go into Overcritical. Oh my gosh. Just talking about all the things I love about myself in this video. So grab some on a flat brush. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply it. This is a great color combo for my college because these are our colors, green and gold. Okay, so the eye looks are pretty much done. I'm going to do the lower lash line off camera, but now let's go ahead and try out the new Patrick Ta blush palette. This is what they look like. So this is the original one that they did last holiday, which is honestly a lot brighter than this year. I was kind of hesitant to pick this up, but I figured we needed to know if it was tan girl friendly. So I'm going to start off with this peachy shade. I think it's a peachy shade. I don't know. That seems really pigmented. And I'm using a Samantha Ravindal Sigma brush. This is the Concealer Blend Kabuki, but I like it because it's kind of chubby. So we're going to use Patrick Ta's technique of putting the powder down first and then adding the cream. This is a really pretty shade, actually. It's like a very subtle peachy, like creamsicle color. You guys know this is like right up my alley. Also, the new Charlotte Tilbury palette is available. I posted it on my community tab. So if you guys are interested, highly recommend because it's out now. And I bought the deep one because, I don't know, something about that palette looks so pretty. Okay, now I'm going to tap into the cream. And I'm just going to tap that on top. I've been feeling so like glowy in my videos that I honestly wasn't really liking it. So I powdered my face a lot more today because I was like kind of not liking how dewy my skin looked. That looks so pretty. It has a really nice subtle sheen to it. And I'm going to use this shade as a highlighter. Okay, so I'm going to use this shade as a highlighter. So I'm going to grab this Real Techniques brush, and I'm just gonna go where I usually like to put highlighter. What do we think? There's the shade. Here's it without. Here's with. Here's without. It's pretty beautiful. Super glowy. I know somebody I follow on Instagram. I can't remember which account, but it's somebody with a channel was saying like, this is Patrick Ta's like first highlighter, and yeah, they're right. This does have like bigger shimmer particles, but I think it kind of like meshes into the skin, but that's actually a pretty poppin' highlighter. Okay. I'm excited for this new palette. I feel like my gamble paid off because I was a little bit uncertain. I was like, is it too light for me? I feel like it's too light for me, but so far so good. So I will continue to test that out, but we're gonna finish the makeup off camera and then I'll be right back to give you guys my thoughts on this new makeup I just tried out. Okay friends, so here is the finished look. Before I talk about the new makeup I tried, let me tell you really quick what else is on my face today. So I am wearing my Hourglass foundation. This is the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation in the shade 12. And then I'm wearing the Sigma powder for my waterline today. I used the ColourPop black eyeliner in the shade Swerve on both sides. And then I'm wearing the Smashbox. This is the Studio Skin Flawless 24-Hour Concealer. My lip shade is Juvia's Place Nile. I love, love, love this color. It's like a mustardy brown shade. And then for my inner corner today, I did use the Blend Money Noctilucent palette. I used Far Out on this side and Enlighten on this side because I really wanted something really poppy in the inner corner. So that is everything else on my face other than the new products I tried today. So let's talk about the blush palette really quick. Now, personally, I feel like last year's colors are more my vibe, but I do like this new kind of subtle version. I also like that they went away from the mirrored packaging because, as you can see, it picks up all of your fingerprints, but it is a similar size. So I'm very excited to try out the pink shade. You guys know I don't wear a lot of pink blush, so that's definitely hanging over my head, but quality-wise, it feels like the same great Patrick Ta blush quality. I literally have all of his blushes because I just love the concept. I love his packaging. I love most things Patrick Ta does as far as makeup goes. I'm not a fan of the eyeshadow palette so much, but I really like his eyeliners, his foundation, his blushes. So yeah, so far so good. And I feel like last year during the Sephora sale, this was like the hot ticket item, so I wanted to grab it and try it out. I will say the highlight shade, I'm a little bit interested to hear about from folks with texture. I feel like there are some bigger chunks of sparkle in there, so on me, I can see it. Like when I was looking at my makeup in the mirror, I could see the chunkiness. It doesn't bother me too much. But I feel like if you have texture, that's not going to be very flattering on your skin. So I'll definitely have to keep an eye out for more reviews on this blush palette. Now let's go ahead and talk about the bad side. Did I say bad signs? The bad side Zodiac palettes from Melt. I will say I do have a favorite look from the two I have on my eyes. I think this one is like so me, but I really like it. I like it a lot more than the purpley look, or the air look, I should say. I had high hopes for this color story, but the more I look at it, it's really not my favorite. I prefer to pair my purples with like real orangey, bright orange shades. So I'm not sure I love this color story. And honestly, the metallics are nice, but they're nothing to like write home about. They're just okay. Okay, so the green palette is definitely my favorite of the two I have. I really don't regret not buying the other two because I feel like just having these two gave me a good idea of these palettes. I will say if you want a more interesting color story, I would definitely invest in one of the bigger palettes from Melt. Now, there's a lot of things that I feel like I need to warn you guys if this is going to be your first time trying Melt Cosmetics. Not all their palettes are made the same. Some are better quality than others, so I would definitely say watch a lot of videos, narrow things down, figure out which palette really calls to you. I can say pretty much most videos I watch on that pink palette they did, I'm blanking on all the names of their palettes. That one was a disaster. 420 was a disaster. Most people in the beauty community didn't like those. I'll say the purple one is nice. I think that one's called She's in Parties. The Gemini palette is solid. Gemini 2 is solid. Just a blanket warning when it comes to Melt, it's hit or miss. You're kind of gambling, but still they hold a very special place in my heart when it comes to the beauty community because they have that like edgy vibe. So personally, if you have a Melt collection like I do, I feel like these are not really necessary for you. This is perfect for somebody that wants to try Melt for the first time. They want to get them at Sephora and they don't want to spend a ton of money, I think that's who this is for. Otherwise, I feel like they've done these color stories better in other palettes. So that's just my take on it. You guys can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. But I've tried the ABH palette today and I've tried these Milk palettes today, and I feel like they're all just almost there, but they're not like loves. Like, I feel like there's other palettes that I have been loving and enjoying a lot more this holiday and fall season so far. So I'm very excited. Like I mentioned in my ABH video, I have the Teresa is Dead collection with Lethal, so I'm going to film with that tomorrow. And then I have the new Game Beauty palette, so a lot of excitement to look forward to. I did also order the new Beauty Bay palette, and I ordered the Pat McGrath holiday palette. So whenever those get here, I'll be filming videos with that as well. So make sure you're following along so you don't miss out. Make sure you hit that bell so you're notified. And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye!